Stop doing this now, because every time you translate English in your head, your brain works twice as hard and slows your learning by 50%. It is a scientific fact that translating word for word keeps your fluency locked away in a cage. Welcome to Peter's English Lab, the place where we make English simple, natural, and real. Today we are talking about a major problem for many students, which is translating from your native language to English inside your mind.
Yes, hello everyone, and welcome to the laboratory. This is Nicole, and I am here with Peter to help you stop this bad habit today. Many beginners think that translating is the only way to speak a new language, but it is actually a big trap. When you translate, you are not speaking English. You are just playing a slow game of matching words.
That is exactly right, Nicole. Think about it like this. When you see an apple, you do not need to say the word in your native language first and then change it to English. You just look at the red fruit and think apple. We need to do this with everything in our daily lives.
But Peter, how can an A1 or A2 student do this when they do not know many words yet? It feels impossible for a beginner to just stop translating because their English vocabulary is still very small. They feel safe when they use their first language as a bridge.
I understand that feeling completely. But the bridge is actually a wall. You do not need thousands of words to think in English. You only need to change how you connect words to things. For example, do not learn that the English word cat means your local word for cat. Instead, look at a picture of a cat, or look at a real cat, and say the word cat directly. Connect the English word to the real object, not to your native language.
That makes so much sense, Peter. It is about removing the middleman from the conversation. If you look at a table, you just say table in your head. You bypass your native language completely. This is the first small step to direct thinking. Did you know that children never translate when they learn their first language? Because they cannot? They learn by connecting sounds directly to the world around them, and your brain can still do the exact same thing today. Adults think they must translate because they already have a language, but your brain is fully capable of building a completely new, direct network for English.
We often think adults learn differently, but our brains still love patterns and direct connections. If you want to build this new network, you must start with simple daily exercises. One great exercise is labeling your world in English. When you walk through your house, name the things you see in English without translating.
I love that exercise, Peter. When I am in the kitchen, I can just look around and say, coffee, milk, spoon, cup, hot, morning. I do not make full sentences yet because I am an A1 or A2 learner, but I am training my brain to react to my environment using only English words.
Exactly. You are building the foundation of a direct language house. Another great method is using simple action verbs during your day. When you open a door, do not just do it silently. Say the words open door in your head. When you drink water, say drink water. You are connecting physical actions directly to English vocabulary.
This sounds very practical because it does not take any extra time from your busy schedule. You can do this while you are getting ready for work, cooking dinner, or walking in the park. You are just changing the silent background language of your mind.
Yes, and you are creating process stability in your learning. You are making English a natural part of your daily routine, not just a difficult subject that you study for 1 hour from a textbook. The goal is to make the language automatic, just like driving a machine or riding a bicycle.
Here is a surprising fact that most language schools never tell you because it sounds completely backwards. To speak English faster, you actually need to learn fewer words, not more. Studies show that knowing just the top 100 most common words deeply allows you to understand half of all spoken English without any mental translation.
That is a powerful truth, Nicole. People think they need a huge vocabulary to stop translating, but they actually just need to use basic words more efficiently. When you focus on the most common words, you can form thoughts quickly without searching through a huge mental dictionary.
Wow, that is a relief for our listeners who feel bad about their small vocabulary. So, if I only know simple words like go, have, want, and like, I can already start thinking in English without using my native language.
Absolutely. Let us try a small experiment together right now. Think about something you want right now. Do not think the sentence in your first language. Just feel the hunger or the thirst and say, I want water or I want food. You see, you are connecting a real physical feeling directly to basic English words.
That is so easy and beautiful. I can feel the connection immediately. It feels clean and fast because my brain does not have to travel back to my native language and then return to English. It is a straight line.
Exactly. It is a straight line, and that straight line is the secret to fluency. When you remove the translation step, your speaking speed doubles instantly. You stop pausing for 5 seconds before every sentence because you are not translating a long text in your head anymore.
But what happens when an A2 learner wants to say something more complex, but they do not know the exact word? In those moments, it is very easy to fall back into the old trap of translating from your native language.
That is a classic problem, Nicole. When you do not know a word, do not translate. Instead, try to explain it using the very simple English words you already know. If you do not know the word for refrigerator, you can say the cold box for food. It is a fun game, and it keeps your brain inside the English zone.
Oh, I like that game. If I forget the word for clock, I can say the thing that shows time. This keeps the conversation moving, and it trains my brain to be flexible with English. It is much better than stopping the conversation to look at a dictionary.
Yes, because using a dictionary during a conversation brings you right back to translation mode. You want to stay inside the English circle. Another great tip for A1 and A2 learners is to learn words in small pairs or phrases, not as single words. Do not just learn the word apple, learn eat apple. Do not just learn car, learn drive car.
This is helpful because your brain loves patterns. If you learn phrases, you do not have to think about grammar rules or word order. The phrase is already complete and ready to use. You just pull it out of your memory and say it.
Exactly, Nicole. It is like having pre-made parts for a machine. You do not need to build every single part from scratch every time you want to speak. You just take the pre-made phrase and put it into the conversation. This saves a lot of energy and stops translation completely.
We are reaching the end of our episode today on Peter's English Lab. Let us summarize the most important points for our wonderful listeners so they can start practicing today. First, connect English words directly to real objects and actions, not to your native language.
Second, use the labeling method to name the world around you in English during your day. Third, focus on the most common words and use them deeply. And fourth, learn short phrases instead of single words to make your speaking automatic and fast.
Thank you so much for listening to Peter's English Lab today. Do not be afraid of making mistakes, and remember that stopping translation is a habit that takes a little bit of time to build. Be patient with your brain, practice every day, and we will see you in the next episode.
Goodbye, everyone, and happy learning.